going on, folks? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. Let's get it in. Let's talk about the dragon. Let's talk about the dragon real quick. Is the dragon real? Is the dragon mythology? Is the dragon fake? Well, short answer is yes. The dragon is real. Just like with every other mythological creature that you hear about, such as the mermaid, what do you call it, the phoenix, and other mythical creatures that we study about. Every mythical creature on the planet has an origin. I don't care if you talk about the vampire, like I said, the mermaid, what they so-called the Bigfoots and stuff like that, has a origin. So, right. So when you're dealing with something like the dragon, we have to go back to the origin. We have to go back to the first mention of the dragon, right? So let's get it in. So, first of all, the word dragon is very, very new. It just came onto the English language. I think about the 13th century. I think the word dragon came in. So the word dragon is very, very, very new. You know what I mean? The word dragon uh, goes back to the word Draco. Go back to the word Draco. In Latin, it means, I'm sorry, I forgot how you say it in Latin, but it means, serpent. Pretty much, it means serpent. So, don't remember the dragon is a new word. It just came on the scene. It just, we just started using it. So the oldest term of the dragon, according to my research, what I found is in the Sumerian text, right? And the Sumerian didn't call it the dragon. You know what I mean? Because again, the dragon is a new word. So with the word that they used for the dragon was the word um, Sumergal, I think. I probably butchered the word. No, Usimgal. I'm sorry, Usimgal. So it's called Usimgal, the word that they use for the dragon. And Usimgal means huge serpent. It means huge serpent. And then the Sumerian describe it as a huge flying lizard type creature was flying through the air. You know what I mean? And the text is about 4,000 years old. That's where you get the first mention of the dragon. You know what I mean? So the earliest mention of the dragon wasn't called the dragon. Again, wasn't called the dragon. In Sumeria, they call it the Usim Gal, meaning huge serpent. Huge serpent that's flying in the air. That's where they get the whole idea of the dragon in the first place. Now, what happened throughout history was, man and other people took the dragon and made it their own. And then they call it the dragon, or they might call it something else. You know what I mean? They add on to the dragon, like it breathes fire. It does, what else does they say the dragon do? Uh, hold like mythical powers and stuff like that. So, yeah. So again, the first mention of the dragon goes back to the Sumeria text. It called it the Usum Gal, meaning huge serpent. It wasn't until later on, man added on to what they call the dragon. You know, you got movies about it, comic books about it, TV shows and stuff like that about the dragon. So that's why you know, and every culture that you go to on the planet talks about the dragon. I don't care what culture you go to, it talks about the dragon. Not only that, it talks about the dragon. You know, they got different words for the dragon, different names for the dragon. And when you study that, all the dragons, all the name that they have for the dragon translate to huge serpent or huge flying reptile flying around, right? So to me, there probably was just huge, giant, flying type lizard, and then over time, again, man, added on or created their own version of the dragon. But originally, it was a flying, huge serpent or a reptile flying around and like that. So, what happened with the dragons? What happened to the dragons? Where they are? Well, my opinion. Well, before I get to my opinion, what happened to the dragon was, according to my research, you know, humans was hunting them down, killing them, and then you had some dragons. Uh, some dragons that was not cool with the humans. So, it was some kind of war against the humans and the dragons and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, my opinion, I think humans hunt the dragons like they do every other animal throughout history, hunt them, kill them, and stuff like that. I think some of the dragons might have went inside of the planet. Maybe some of them live inside the cave system, certain advanced cave system. Maybe some of them might have been petrified, like with the giants. Like I talk about in my video, they was living alongside with the giants and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, man. I think to my opinion, I think the dragons still. I think they still exist. I know it sounds crazy, but for me, I think they still exist. So, yeah, man. And the dragon, you see, the dragons go back to the Draconian, the Dracon. It goes back to the reptilian. The dragon is part of the reptilian family. It's part of the reptilian family, and it has connection with the vampire. What do other people call vampires? Dracula, Draco, Draconius, Dragon. They're all part of the same family, man. They're all part of the same family. So I'm gonna cut it there. Y'all be good. Y'all still wear, and I'm out.